Hey everyone, this vinyasa class is going to be slightly different than usual. We are going to play with some balancing as well as having some mobility moments for our hips, our ankles, and a little bit of our wrists. What we're going to do though is utilize a block or maybe a book or maybe a shoe. How we're going to use it is pop it on top of our head as well as some other parts of our bodies throughout the class. What this is going to do is challenge our balance. It's going to challenge our sense of body awareness and control, as well as our concentration. So grab whatever you have around you. This is a short form version of a longer class that we have in our Patreon account. So if you really liked the style of class and wanted to explore it in more depth, then feel free to check that out down below. It's where we also have lots of other longer classes and we get to chat a little bit more directly, which is super cool. So if you're keen, check it out. Let's begin in a seated position, cross-legged, facing the right side of your mat. Before we move, let's close our eyes down. Just taking the next couple of moments to tune inwards and start to create that internal focus. So start to observe the breath. Noticing the breaths in as they come through the nose. Noticing the breaths out as they exhale, exit. That's the word, from the nose. This breath being a really useful link between what's happening right now and our mind, giving us something to focus on. Can we lift up a little taller in our body? So reach the crown of the head towards the sky. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Feel the collarbones broaden. Lift up through the sternum. Creating that sense of lift, which is also going to help us breathe better. And before we begin to move, let's take about another 3 to 5 breaths. And just start to open up the eyes. Walk your hands behind you and take the feet out wide. Let's drop the knees from one side and then coming up and over to the other side. So starting to move the hips a little bit more, internally rotating the femur bone and externally rotating the femur bone. Keep the chest lifted, the spine as long as you can. And you might feel comfortable doing this without your hands. Ideally, as we do this, we try to keep the spine really long and we aim to not move the feet. Now, I notice myself trying to lift my feet off and cheat. Such is life. It's all unintentional, I promise. Okay, if you felt like a little bit more, you could start to lean forward, lifting your hips off the ground, squeezing the glutes. And then you'll hinge your hips back, lower the hips down, and then take your knees up and over to the other side. So you might need to use your hands with this one, maybe hands forward or hands to the side. That's totally okay. And if you felt ready for some more, you could do this with your block on top of your head. Maybe that's your book, maybe that's your shoe, maybe it's something else, maybe it's your phone. Lifting it up. And just notice when you do bring it up onto your head that you have to move quite a bit slower, especially with the block that I'm using. It's quite light. And so any small movements will just be like, I like to have my arms out in front of me just to help counterbalance my weight. Let's go about one more each side. Once you've done that, come down to the ground, remove the block. We're going to practice a sequence, first without a block, and then we're going to add it in just to challenge our balance. Draw your knees over to the left, so to the front. Step your right foot in front of the left shin. Hips roll forward, and then start to rise up to standing. Inhale as you lift your left knee up towards your chest. As you exhale, take it around to the side. Right hand is going to start reaching forward. Left hand joins with the left ankle, dancer's pose. Lean forward with the chest, but kick your left foot up and back. Now, we haven't really warmed up much, so don't expect this to look really big or grand in the body. Just find that reach. One more breath. Take a long step back with your left foot. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, lower the left knee down, left hand down. Right hand reaches high. Turn the left toes to the left side. Right foot reaches to the back of the mat. Use the strength of the core. Start to lift yourself up for a modified gate pose. Left hand comes to the hip. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we reach our right hand towards the back. Come back through center. Take a deep breath in. Left hand comes down. Push through your right foot and your left hand, just enough so that your left knee can slide forward, and then lower your hips down to the ground. Come down onto the left elbow. Keep your right hand lifted. And then slide both your hips down as well as the chest. From here, draw the knees up towards the chest. Take a couple of rock and rolls up and down the spine. Eventually, we're going to aim to land in a narrow squat. So feet are about hip width distance, maybe a little bit wider. I should have said low squat. It might not look narrow. From here, plant the hands down, step back into a downward facing dog, just for a moment. Maybe you pedal out your feet here, dropping one heel down, dropping the other heel down. Just creating some space down the back of the legs, the calf muscles, the ankles. And then lower your knees down to the ground, cross your legs over, and turn to the left side of your mat again. Okay, let's turn this to the other side. So unwind your legs, draw them over to the right. Step your left foot up and over so it's in front of the right shin, and then lift yourself forward so you're sitting on the left ankle here. Push yourself up through both feet. Inhale, right knee lifts up. Hold for your exhale. Keep the hips level as you take your right knee wide. And then start to lean forward, right hand clasp onto the right ankle. Reach your left hand to the back, dancer's pose. So there's a squeeze of the right glute here, roll the right shoulder back. Let's go, one more breath. Take a long step back with your right toes, breathe in. As you exhale, right knee comes down, right hand comes down, left hand reaches high. Inhale as you turn your right toes to the side, to the right side of the mat. As you exhale, step the left foot to the front. Engage through the core. Breathe in as you lift yourself up. Right hand comes to the right hip. As you exhale, lean your upper body towards the left. So left hand reaching away. Come back down, breathe in, right hand plants down, push into your left foot. As you exhale, slide the right knee forward, lower your hips down. So your right foot is roughly in line with your left thigh. Lower the right elbow down to the ground, and then lower the chest and the head. Draw the knees up towards the chest. Maybe you take the hands behind the back of the legs. Couple rock and rolls up and down the spine. Eventually landing in a low squat. You can use your hands here, remember, and also heels might not be on the ground. That's totally okay. Plant the hands down, lift the hips, breathe in, step back. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Okay, lower the knees down to the ground. Turn yourself to the right side of the mat. We are going to try that with the block. Pop it on top of your head. Before we come up to standing, let's try that knee drop sequence that we did before. Take your feet wide, drop your knees over to the left. You might stay down or push through the feet. Lift your hips up, breathe in. As you exhale, lower the hips back down. Inhale, lift the knees. As you exhale, drop them to the other side. Inhale, lift up. Notice how much glute activation you need here. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop to the left. So your right foot, let's step it up in front of your left shin. Shift your right weight into your right foot. Make this stand-up process slow. Inhale as you come up. Lift up through the left knee. Exhale, hold. Left knee travels around. And then slowly start to lean the upper body forward. Right hand reaches forward. Left hand reaches towards the left ankle. Natarajasana, dancer's pose. Try to kick your foot up, squeeze the glutes. Find your drisi, your focal point. That's going to help you balance. Reach your right hand to the block, remove it. Take a long step back with your left foot, breathe in. As you exhale, lower the left knee down to the ground. Now for me, I'm going to use the block on the mid distance. Okay, this is going to make it more challenging. See if you can pull your fingers towards each other. That's also going to reduce the base of support. Left hand comes down to the ground and then try press the block up towards the sky. So you're really flexing the fingertips down to you. Left toes turn to the left and then step your right foot to the back of the mat. Use the strength of the core to lift you up. Take a deep breath in. Oh, this is hard. As you exhale, reach the right hand to the back, left hand to the left hip. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale to land the left hand down. Press through the foot and through the left hand. You're going to try slide your left knee forward. Eventually lowering yourself down to the ground. Oh, that was hard. Bring the block down to the side. Hug your knees up into the chest. Couple of rock and rolls up and down the back. Eventually coming into your squat. Using momentum helps you here. And then plant the hands down, step yourself back, downward facing dog. Lower your knees down to the ground, turn to the left side of your mat, and we're going to try that again. So bring the block to the top, right knee faces the back of the mat. Inhale as you lift the knees, exhale to lower them down. You might stay here or lift yourself up, breathe in. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, come back through center. Try not to move the feet. I'm kind of just talking to myself here. Hold here. Let's just lift the hips. I think I started on the wrong leg. Lift up. And then lower down. Oh no, maybe we did that twice. I can't remember. Anyway, we're facing the back of the mat here. Lift the left foot. Take it towards the back of the mat. Shift your weight into your left foot. And then slowly rise up to standing. Inhale as you lift your right knee. As you exhale, take it around. Right hand comes towards the right ankle. Reach your left hand forward, dancer's pose. So you've got a wide grip of your toes on the ground. One more breath. Bring your left hand to the block, remove it. Take a long step back with your right toes, breathe in. As you exhale, lower the right knee down, right hand comes down, and then bring the block back up. Flex the hand towards you. Turn the right toes to the right. Step the left foot to the front of the mat. Using the strength of the core, try lift yourself up, breathe in, turn the fingertips forward. As we exhale, right hand to right hip, as you reach your left hand away. Come back through center, breathe in. Exhale, really slow this down. Become quite intentional with your movement. Press into your right hand and into your left foot. Slide your right knee forward. And then lower yourself down to the ground. Woo! We got there. It's bound to happen. Okay, once we get there, we're almost done. Keep flexing the fingertips towards you, working on that wrist mobility. Right elbow comes down. And then you lower yourself down to the ground again. Lose the block. Draw the knees up to the chest. A couple of rock and rolls up and down the back. Land in your squat. Hands down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Bring your knees down to the ground. Come back onto your hips. We're going to just take one or two poses to finish our practice off. Let's find that bent knee position again. Left knee in front. I'm going to add on a twist this time. Right hand comes around the outside of the left thigh. Left fingertips reaching back. Now, if you did feel like more, you could lift up your left foot, kind of rock it around a little. Bring it up to your right hip crease. Try pull the left knee down and then reach the right hand across. And if you had space, you could try connect your left hand towards your left big toe. We haven't done a huge amount of warming up, so don't feel any need to jump into these parts, or to this extent, I should say. Use your next breath in. Can you lift up a little taller? As you exhale, twist a little further. Come back through center and swap it out to the other side. So you might stay with the legs as they are, in your twist, you might lift your right foot off. Just take a little wiggle. And then bring it as close to your hip crease as possible. Taking one more breath here. And coming back through center. Either finishing in a seat, or if you'd like to finish in Shavasana, you can roll yourself down. We're just going to take a moment in stillness before we transition out. Let's close our eyes down. Noticing how you might experience or have experienced a deeper level of dropping in, a greater sense of awareness of body, but potentially also your mind. I'm slowly starting to come back. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the nose or the mouth. Nice job, everyone. If you're still here, oof, you probably had to practice that in your own room. I'm sure if you did it in public, people would be looking at you like you're a bit crazy. But I hope that you leave feeling a little bit more centered, a bit more balanced, aware. Again, if you wanted to try the longer class where we kind of get into the sequences a little bit more and play with the balance and the block, then check it out. It's down below. Otherwise, I will see you again next time on the mat.